So
we're not on Twitch.
We are on Twitch.
Oh, it ain't showing up on my thing.
It's it's always a bit of a delay when we first get started, but yeah, we are on Twitch. A bit of a delay when
there we go.
Yeah. See, there we go. But yeah, so thanks for joining us. If you haven't noticed by now, we will be recapping season 2 of The Mandalorian. But before we get into that, introductions, we have AJ here, also known as Obi-Wan Shinobi.
Traded in HR paper stacks.
Yeah, HR paper stacks is done. So this is Obi-Wan Shinobi.
Buy a hoodie.
I'm about to buy a
wearing a hoodie till y'all buy one. It's getting washed, but buy a hoodie.
My mom's gonna end up. My mom's gonna end up buying one of everything from the store. I already had to Mom, calm down.
Hey, Courtney, what's up with you?
I'm good. I'm drinking from this really, and I see this too from the same cup. This really delicious cup that changes colors with the temperature. Yeah. 3 of us. AJ's not using one.
It's in my kitchen. It's in a cabinet somewhere.
But yes, I'm the president of the Giancarlo Esposito fan club and everything. So,
Courtney's mom, if you're watching, can you please chime in whenever your daughter starts getting too filthy?
No. Thank you, D.
No,
Mom, we try to keep her in line because we know that's what you would want, but
no, we don't.
She doesn't seem to listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't.
We want the entertainment value.
So D, how's it going over there?
I'm good.
Living my life. Sitting out the Star Wars thing.
No, I wanted D on here.
I was pressured by my friends. It was me. And then I realized that Courtney would be here and y'all would try to stifle her.
No, we wouldn't.
Actually, keep me from being great.
I can't allow it.
They would stifle. What are you talking about? I'm the one that gets stifled around here.
They just tried to stifle me just a second ago.
Why do I need to be stifled? See, just for that.
Courtney, again, interrupted.
Uninterrupted.
Enough banter. Much like Montrose Freeman, y'all are here for the man. Duh. Boom.
Okay,
wasn't gonna do it, but since I need to be stifled, I'm getting all the
this man. I wish I had a hat on.
So three of us here are well, Courtney and AJ probably more so than I, but 3 of us here are pretty well versed when it comes to Star Wars lore. So D, I think it'll be good to just start with you. First, did you watch season 1 before hopping into season 2?
I did.
What did you think about it so far?
I enjoyed it. It's not like I don't enjoy the show. I just don't have the history, I guess I should say, as much history as you guys. So I watched it way more casually than you do. And I'm glad you asked that because I could not remember first season. As far as The Mandalorian goes in itself, this is going to turn into the Educate Deep pod, by the way. The Mandalorian himself, I remembered because, of course, I freaked out when Timothy took the helmet off because I was like, oh my God, they're not supposed to do that. And Jonathan was like, hey, relax. He's not a real Mandalorian. I was like, oh, okay.
He's not a Mandalorian.
So what is the rule, though? Is it if they are ever seen without it or if they take it off? Because I remembered last season that he did have it off, but nobody saw him. So he put it back on. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, they're not supposed to show their face to anybody.
Yeah, like you can take it off. Yeah, but you just not in. Yeah, you can't. It's you disgrace yourself.
So the Mandalorians, they all have this creed. So it's almost like what the hijab is to like the Muslim culture. Like basically they can't be seen in public. Yeah, they can't be seen in public without their armor because their I guess their religion is like almost like that of a warrior. So once you take that creed on, you can't be seen without your armor. And that's why also good point. That's why the moment that Mando saw Timothy Oliphant, he was like, nah, bro, you got to
like that pause. That pause is just like
you gotta come up off that. You gotta come up off.
Well, as soon as I saw because I'm like, first of all, that's Boba Fett armor right there. That's that might be a little we'll give it as a hint. But I saw that as soon as I saw it was just the helmet and like the the chest plate. I was like, that's not a Mandalorian because first of all, like it's looking raggedy, and second, it's just like there was just something about the energy, and I don't know. Like you could just tell the second he walked on, like that's not a real Mandalorian.
Okay, now tell me what happens when they take it off. Do they die? Do they just go back to being regular human beings? What happens to that?
It's almost like it's almost like you excommunicated.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't have to die.
I mean,
but most of the time,
I mean, so a lot of them might commit suicide because of the disgrace and shame of it. Like, yeah, kind of like that. Or you just go into exile.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if we ever see your face again, it's on site.
Yeah,
if I never see your face again, I don't
Another question.
No, go ahead.
This is why we watch. Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's why I'm here. Another question. I know that he was kind of adopted by the Mandalorians. What about the rest of them? Like, how do you become a Mandalorian?
You simply choose to become a Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have to accept
you. Just say I want to be a Mandalorian.
I mean, they have to accept you. Like, they probably put you through trials and shit, but. Like
they showed a whole montage of him going through that. Like they accepted him into society, but when he became of age enough to actually become a warrior, like he had to go through trials.
Like before that, he was what they called a foundling. They found him and they raised him. And
so it's pretty much it. Yeah, you're either born into it or you're a foundling, or somehow if you are an adult and you want to join it, which is a little more rare, I think.
More rappers join gangs.
So there is a community.
Grand Chapter Mendo, yeah.
It's probably some galactic rappers banging Mandalorian that's not really Mandalorians, you know.
So there's a community where they all like live and grow in fellowship.
I don't know that there's a community. I think there's like a secret network of communities that they have because they're pretty much like bandits and like nobody really fucks with them but them. So they have like all these secret underground like places where they go. Because like you saw in the first season where he went down to get his armor repaired and it was just like a whole gang of Mandalorians down there. Like they don't ever really go out or show their faces because if someone finds where one is, you pretty much find where the rest of them are. So they try to stay hidden, split up, and all that. So that's why they don't show
themselves. Sounds like a lonely life.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is.
It is a very lonely, which is why it's perfect. Like just them as an existing being is perfect for a Western because it's like very Western cowboy-esque, which is why I love this. It's either Star Wars as a space opera is perfect, and then Star Wars as a Western perfection. So best in a TV show though. It's
like space Western samurai shit.
Exactly. Basically, yeah, that's the best way to describe it, and that's what makes it awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, George Lucas ripped off the entire first Star Wars film from a Western, so I mean, a old samurai movie. So,
do they have a respect of persons as far as gender goes, or is it just if you're a Mandalorian, that's it? We don't care if you're a lady Mandalorian or a male Mandalorian.
Armor was a woman, and I mean, there's been plenty of Mandalorian. Like you would have to go back and watch like Rebels and Star Wars, Clone Wars.
They kind of go much deeper into it, but yeah, I think it's like you lose your identity and you just are a Mandalorian. Kind of, they don't really care.
Well, I mean, it's post like the Republic, yeah. Like if you watch like Rebels, the girl has her helmet off constantly. If you watch Clone Wars, there's like a whole planet of Mandalorian.
I mean, it's like I guess the best way to describe it, as a religion, like religions evolve and their traditions evolve and what is and isn't allowed. And like we have to kind of describe, I guess we could get into, I forget where exactly this is placed in the timeline again, where exactly, because it's very specifically placed, because that would help.
It's right after the events of Return of the Jedi. Isn't it like 50 years before episode 7?
It's 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
That's what I thought. I thought it was
like not that long after Return of the Jedi. I knew it was a prop in there somewhere. Yeah,
5 years after Return. I don't know how long it is before A New Hope Part 2. I don't know how far it is before that. Yeah. I couldn't think of the name.
Last question, I think, for now.
Sure.
Yoda. Baby Yoda is another Yoda. This isn't our
Yoda. It's the same race, but not
Yoda. Yeah, shout out, Jonathan. Yeah, 25
years. 25 years. There we go.
Okay, so our Yoda in this timeline has already going on to glory.
Yeah, he dies in he dies in Return of the Jedi.
He's like what, like 800, 900 years old? He's old.
Yeah, but they age at like 1/50th the speed of humans. Or 1/25th.
So baby's probably like, we don't like, baby may not be like a fresh baby, like baby could have been a baby for a while.
Yeah, baby Yoda. Yeah, baby Yoda actually is like
6 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so that doesn't mean that like, so that means there could be multiple Yodas at a time. It's not like one Yoda dies and then a new one.
Well,
there's
a species.
There was another one in episode 1 that you see a woman.
Like you don't see a lot. Like they're kind of rare to see.
Yeah, that's the reason why there's such a mad rush to get to them, because there's not a lot of them and they age and reproduce very slowly. So this one is a toddler.
They could be extinct very quickly.
Yeah. It's kind of like elephants. Like elephants age and reproduce like very slowly compared to like other species. That's why like or whales. So because this one is 50 years old and is only like basically 2 or 3 years old,
like a toddler.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before he reaches maturity. Whereas Yoda was like 900 years old. It was basically like a 75-year-old nigga. So it's one of them type things.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, y'all can get into the episode. I think.
No, but that's like a perfect preface. Like a lot again, because I think I was always into the comics and the TV shows. AJ, I know, and Iran, you too. So it's kind of like we're the nerds, and like we need
go watch Clone Wars.
But yeah, seriously watch Clone Wars. But I think it's good because
that's the best way to get to Star Wars without being overwhelmed by Star Wars.
It's really well done.
I've seen them all. I've seen all the movies. You know,
no. Clone Wars series, like they go way deeper.
It's like an animated show.
They go way deeper into the mythos of Star Wars than the movies do. Like the shit around Star Wars was kind of built by everything that's not in the movies. Like the movies kind of give you like, hey, here's the story. Like if you want to know, like if you want to learn, like the video games have done more to develop the mythos than the movie. Jonathan says Baby Yoda's 100-year-old, if I recall him correctly. I thought they said he was 50. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, technically, Baby Yoda's not wrong, because like if we're talking like in the perspective of that species, it's still a baby.
Because I feel like they said they had the target, and the target is like 50 years old, and then once Mando saw him, he was like, but this is a child.
It's still a baby, and like
right.
Yeah. Baby Yoda's 50.
Because I mean, look at us. Like compare. I mean, I'm sure we age like very slowly compared to other species. I mean, like hamsters that like live 2 years. I'm sure, like comparatively, like to them, it's like what? Yeah. It's like think about it like that. Still, Baby Yoda is still technically a baby. It's just not in our eyes.
Right.
But as I was saying, like the more of the mythos has been explored by comics, the now scrap legends stuff. Like, so a lot of that stuff is done more in the background than like the movies are only going to give you the Skywalker saga. It'll give you some cool stuff in between, but like the races and like their like the stuff that they do, like all that stuff is built out more in the books.
The shows are better. The books are better. The video games are better.
If you really want to learn more about like what's canon in Star Wars, go watch the Clone Wars because they cover all that shit. They cover
and
the
it's
Sith,
so good.
The Sith, the Mandalorians, the Jedi, like all that stuff, and they give you a better build up of the characters.
So that's why it's good to have Dito, because like I'm sure like Ryan and AJ and I are gonna like assume everyone knows everything, and then we're like, wait a second, people don't know this and don't know why we were freaking out at the end of season 1.
Hey,
like,
listen, if you don't know, like I just told D, go watch the Clone Wars.
No, that's why y'all are here.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people who don't know. If you don't know, go watch the Clone Wars. Like this is why I'm telling you this. You'll actually learn something.
And I just you'll understand a lot more.
Like the reason we all freaked out when we saw the Darksaber is because of the Clone Wars. That's something that was
deal. Like because like Star Wars fans have been
like you won't find that anywhere in the movies. And the main reason why Mando looked at it the way he did, like that's why there's a big deal about Ahsoka and possibly Sabine Wren showing up in this, is because of stuff that Dave Filoni created with the Clone Wars and Rebels. That's why I tell people to go watch it. It's either that or go read a Wikipedia article. You can breeze right through some of that shit and that too. But if you want to be entertained, watch
The shows are better than the movies. Like I don't just say that. Yeah, everything. It's so funny.
The worst part of Star Wars.
If you want to like really understand it, like, and that's why I'm like, this whole universe is so much better in a TV show format, and you'll understand that when you watch them.
Way better.
Mm-hmm. Even the video games are better than the
Knights of the Old Republic is so fire. Way better. All this shit is way better in the video games than it is in the movies.
Way better plot development and character development. It's just
comics better than the
comics. Movies. Anyway, we should get to the episode, but yeah, watch.
I mean, Timothy Olyphant is a cop, and he meets up with Mando. Like, destruction ensues.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Tim? Who keeps calling Tim? Is he like the comment of like doing struggle songs? Like, hey, comment, we need a song.
I saw him, and I was just like,
"Stop the struggle of I'll do it." Like,
because Timothy Olyphant is like the best example of like a typecast. Because from awesome. Justified to Deadwood to now Fargo, like I said, if you need someone who will sell you a convincing lawman, you call Timothy Olyphant. Like, you don't call anybody else. That's your first call. That's the first call that you make.
It works.
So the moment I saw him, I was like,
like, you know, with the agent was like, hey, Timothy, Disney wants you to play a law enforcement. I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Like, he ain't hear shit else about the role.
He's like, bet.
You know this is going to be a Star Wars, right? I'll do it.
I don't have to. It's like he has a lawman persona hanging up in his closet. And he just puts that on.
The hat on.
Yeah, he puts that on, and he's right in character. Doesn't have to rehearse. All he has to do is learn the lines.
He's like, I don't need lines. I come up with my own lines.
He probably brought his own lines to it. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna do this in front of the kid. Like you know that's
like
been in
said that
somewhere before. Like he was way too calm and way too good at that. It's ridiculous. Stop casting Timothy Olyphant as the strict, stern with the heart of gold lawman, because that's basically all he plays.
I actually don't stop because it works really well.
Cast him forever. And it's crazy because I know he's been in all these things, and whenever I think of him, first I think Hitman, and then second I think Scream 2, which is like nothing like what he actually does now.
See, and I forgot he was in Scream 2.
Exactly.
He was in Scream 2?
Yeah, he was. He was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. But
and also, I just like the first time when I heard the rumbling, I was like, "Oh, they have an Alaskan bullworm." And they showed it was an Alaskan bullworm.
Hey, you know when I saw that, I immediately went back to Knights of the Old Republic, because in Knights of the Old Republic, you have to kill a crate dragon to get the pearl. So all that shit in there, I was like, "Oh shit, this is just like the Tatooine mission on Knights of the Old Republic."
I'm gonna tag the account in this, but there is like one of the Star Wars fan accounts.
Tatooine.
Oh yeah, I was about to say so Tatooine. We're introduced that in episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's where we discover young Anakin. So that's how. Yep. Yeah, so that's how it ties into that. And also, if you noticed, the Marshal Timothy. Yeah. Well, yeah, that they mentioned Tatooine, yeah, but
this franchise loves Tatooine, is what we're trying to say.
Also, Tatooine, what Timothy Olyphant, his speed bike he was riding, it looks pretty familiar, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What is it, Courtney?
It's the speed. No, I also tagged you. I want someone on the count to pull this up when we talk about the Alaska bullworm again.
Okay,
I can't remember the real species name. But yeah, this whole thing, like, is it Star Wars? Even the shows are like they can't get away from Tatooine ever, or even just deserts, ever. And I'm fine with it. But I also want to talk about when we get to it about how they even brought back the Raiders, and even like I forget. I'm really bad about remembering names, but even kind of redeemed them a little bit. So I was very interested.
Yeah, I do want to mention the Tusken Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I read something before I watched the episode that was pretty cool. The Tusken Raiders, when the ones that were speaking in the sign language, they actually hired a deaf actor to play that role.
That's really cool.
So I thought that was really cool. So the language that Mando was speaking with the Tusken Raiders, the deaf actor helped them develop that specifically for the show. So it's just like those little minor details that typically typically go unnoticed, but you get to do stuff like that here. So yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I just love again how like cool Mando is. He just knows he just knows all of that, and just the I gotta call him the sheriff. The sheriff's like reaction. He's like, you know how to communicate with them.
Sure. That's what.
You fuck with them. So I just love. It's so sexy when a man is just confident and like knows is multilingual in many ways. So. Oh no, I think these frozen.
See, that's perfectly fine because when Ahsoka shows up, I don't want to hear anybody's mouth.
I mean, yeah.
But grown up Ahsoka, by the way.
Yeah, grown up.
I'm not gonna disagree.
Mostly because of who's playing her. But when that occurs, I don't want to hear nobody's mouth. I'm
not gonna disagree though, because like I said, if y'all see whenever we have the episode where Giancarlo Esposito and Mando are in the same episode and I'm not here, it's not my choice. It was because I was kicked out, and I want you to advocate for me.
All I know is if you make a comment about wanting to be stabbed by Giancarlo's Darksaber,
I'm not. I'm not looking to get canceled.
I'm calling the police on you if you do that. Like, please,
please get her out of my community.
Help! This is what we out of my community.
I'm telling what y'all said. If you see something, say something. I call y'all for I say what I see. The episode starts off with them going to a random ass planet, and
this part's really cool.
They're looking for a Mandalorian, so that they can find a secret network, so they can return Baby Yoda to his people, which isn't necessarily the Yodas. It is the Jedi. They're trying to return the Jedi, and the guy lures Mandalorian in, wants him for his Beskar armor. Mandalorian says, I don't want to have to kill you guys, after a bunch of dudes draw guns on him. And then he flips up his little missile thing, and Baby Yoda pops the thing and puts his cover on. And Mando kicks some serious ass.
I love it. And he's like, I don't gamble. And by the way, the guy, I forget the species because it's more of an obscure species. I know and I want to say one thing. I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but because all of the flags, I looked it up during the fight, represent the kind of the outer ring planets. That was neat. And I recognize some of the species from around Jabba's kind of area. So the kind of vibe is like kind of illegal, off the grid type vibe, which is just supposed to get. So there was some aliens I did not recognize. I don't know if some are new or just they're more obscure, but that was neat. And also the main guy, I forget the name.
Gor Koresh.
That's John Leguizamo.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, look it up. I heard there was supposed to be like a big guest star, and they just distorted his voice.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like how Jon Favreau was in one of the episodes, and nobody said anything.
I was like, that's John Leguizamo? Okay. That's what I love about the show.
Well, I mean, they do that in the movies too. Like Daniel Craig was in episode 7 as one of the stormtroopers, and Tom Hardy was one of the stormtroopers in 8, I think.
So it's the most random people, but just like some little fun facts for y'all to know about that bit.
So yeah, they find out that there's a quote unquote Mandalorian on Tatooine. So of course we go back to Tatooine, where we always seem to end up at some point in the opening episode of one of these Star Wars things. Wait, did we go to Tatooine? Were we ever on Tatooine in episode 7?
I don't think no.
I don't think so.
Okay, so all right, scratch that. But we go back to Tatooine, where all things seem to occur. Mando meets the lady with the robots again. They find this mining town, and he finds the quote unquote Marshal, and Timothy Oliphant walks in and just takes off his helmet, and Mando's like, all right, bro, I need
that. Nah.
I need that armor back, bro. You can't just walk around with that on, bro. Like
very Western standoff. I was like, ooh, yes, like the Western. That's what I knew. I was like, oh, they're keeping the Western.
He was like Kane in the drive-thru. He said, I need your rims and a double burger with cheese. Yes.
Double burger with cheese. Yes.
It was cool that he said that though. I've always wanted to meet a real Mandalorian. I was like, oh.
And that's I guess I had to drive it home for people that didn't remember, because as soon as the helmet, I said before we went live, but like kind of like the lack of armor, because it was just and I guess I'm not gonna ruin it, but I'll say the Boba Fett-esque armor.
Well, since we've talked about that, that's one of the things that last year they tried to drive home, was that or that they subtly kind of made with the whole point about the helmets and shit, is that the Fets were not actually Mandalorians. They were just people who wore the armor. Because you saw Jango had zero issue in the prequels taking his armor off and showing who he was to other people. Although I feel like in the prequels that wasn't really a thing, but that was something that I read somewhere. But
I feel like they may retcon that.
Yeah, I think they retconned it.
Yeah. What about the Fets and because I mean, if you watch Rebels, Sabine Wren takes her shit off all the time too. So it's kind of why I say that. But anyway, Krayt Dragon shows up, attacks. The Marshal basically states to him like, "Hey, I use this armor to protect my people. I ain't trying to disrespect you, but you know, I need this. Streets need this." When the Krayt Dragon shows up, he basically says, "All right, well, look, I'll give you the shit back if you kill that motherfucker."
The Alaskan bullworm is all I'm going to call it.
And off we embark on the mission to kill a giant dragon.
And these dragons have been around. By the way, I tagged the account in this, but a year ago, there was a, huh?
Yeah. Hold on, Cam. Hold on.
You know, Cameron, we're saving that for the end.
I'm just like, remember, most people are not big Star Wars fans. We have to remember.
Say that.
But no, like there was like, I think, I don't remember what episode it was, but there's like this massive Krayt Dragon, just skeleton, and C-3PO is kind of, and they tweeted about it like a year ago. So like these, again, another species that has been around. But to me, it's an Alaskan bullworm.
Yeah, like I said, Knights of the Old Republic is 4,000 years before episode 4 or episode 1 actually. So yeah, like it's. And one of your missions there is to kill a Krayt Dragon and get the pearl. So Krayt Dragons are bigger than Sarlacc.
So again, if you had watched the shows and read a comic, you would have already known.
As soon as he came up from under the ground, I was like, Krayt Dragon.
Yep. I knew as soon as I heard the rumbling, I was like, yep, Alaskan bullworm dragon.
Like just showed up.
And quick aside, like at the moment I saw the Krayt Dragon, I instantly got sad because I was like, you know what, we're supposed to be watching Tremors too, but we're supposed to be watching Dune next month, but that got pushed back because y'all can't stay in the house. But yeah, so
man, Dune ain't coming out till 2023, man.
It's y'all's fault. I want everyone to fight me. We deserve to.
Wasting Timothy Chalamet's great acting. Well, we assume to be great acting.
Timothy's taking over.
Jason Momoa with swords and shit. Like, come on, man. Like,
y'all had to ruin it. You just couldn't stay inside for 2 weeks.
What's wrong with y'all? Now we probably gonna be locked down all next year. I just want y'all to know that. If
you couldn't give up your summer, now you're gonna lose 2 summers. Halloween that was on a Saturday where we would have had an extra hour of sleep.
Look, COVID
every holiday is on a weekend.
COVID gonna be out here like Jay-Z. COVID held you down 6 summers. Where's the
love? Anyway.
But so they embark
the Mandalorian.
They embark on a journey to locate this Krayt Dragon. They find some Tusken Raiders, at which point Mando negotiates between the Tusken Raiders, although the Marshal is greatly against that, as he feels like the Raiders they raid and take things. But they negotiate a truce and basically state, so there's a funny part that happens. They basically try to get the Krayt Dragon to go to sleep by feeding it one of them buffalo-looking joints. I forget what they're called.
Yeah,
Banta.
Banta. Poor things just want to mind their business.
They leave the Bantha out there, and the dragon comes out and kills the Tusken Raider.
I knew it. Those moments are, to me, what makes Star Wars so great. It's just like the little bits of humor. It's just like, mwah, mwah.
And then they go like, okay, we're gonna need a better plan.
Yeah, like back to the drawing board.
Right before that, they was like, yo, they've studied this thing's digestive habits for generations. He's gonna come out and he's just Bantha.
But yeah,
he just comes straight out like hungry hippo and goes right back in.
Let's reiterate that point. And like one thing I like to mention, because again, if you are like a deeper fan, you know that the Tusken Raiders have kind of been there forever. So kind of like I appreciate the Mandalorian saying like if you're gonna defeat this thing, you need the people that have like been dealing with this thing for forever. So again, I like the show because it does kind of do continuous nods towards people that watch more than the movies.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Me?
No, Nelson.
No. Oh, I haven't. I'm not even looking at the comments.
Nelson, what the hell are you talking about? Just come in randomly hating?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong?
What's wrong with y'all?
As you can tell, our friend Nelson's back. But yeah, so that's why I like those little deadpan humor moments because yeah, they said that up perfectly. Yeah, the Tuscan Raiders have been studying the digestive, and then he just comes out and just eat the Raider, and I was like, yeah, that's it needed that little bit of levity to kind of break up the episode. So I'm glad that they included that. That was hilarious.
And the Raiders wasn't even heard about it. It was like, damn.
They're just like, oh, it's like another way.
It was like, shit. Well,
they can't catch a break. I mean, they did kill Anakin's mom.
Get that Panther back.
But they even killed younglings, even younglings. Anakin killed even their children, so they're used to getting got.
Oh so. Yeah, Anakin was wild, but so they end up finding out that they need more people because when they build out the to scale crate dragon, the Marshal realizes that thing is way bigger than what they thought it was going to be. So they go get the townspeople to help. And yeah, then we get to the dragon. Well, the townspeople are against it at first till Mando very sternly tells them, well, you can help now, or this dragon's gonna wipe all of you out, and they'll stop stealing from y'all till one of y'all fucks with them.
I love how like the sheriff kind of had to present it in a way. It's like they're small town country folk. Essentially, and he had to like present it in that way too. I really appreciated that. I was like, what does that remind me of that kind of rhetoric? What is that alluding to?
The guy who just said they were going to stop counts in PA on election night, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
vote Mando. So they lay out this elaborate.
I will vote Mando in many ways.
Moving on, y'all deserve it. Just go ahead, just push through.
No, we don't, D. No, we don't.
You do.
If you follow AJ on Twitter, you know he deserves it.
I don't.
I've done nothing to deserve this.
Okay, push through.
And people tweeting recklessly from the KWC account, y'all more than deserve it.
And then blame me for it.
It's so funny because I'm like, that's not even something AJ, like that's something AJ would do, but not how he would do it.
Yeah, like I don't ever tweet recklessly. Like I tweet recklessly from my account.
Oh, okay.
I don't tweet recklessly from the KWC account. I was suspended the other day and went and created a whole other account rather than tweet recklessly.
And he was on private, and you were on private. That's the funniest part.
Yeah, one of y'all motherfuckers snitched on me, and I'm gonna find out who. Punk ass motherfuckers. Anyway, so they get to the point where they're fighting the crate dragon, and shit's going awry, as you might think when you fighting a 300-foot dragon or however big that fucking thing is.
It's massive, yeah.
And Mando does some last-minute heroics. Pulls the annexation of Puerto Rico, and jumps into the dragon's mouth with a bunch of bombs. That's all she wrote. Now,
with that, are we supposed to believe that the armor protected him from the acidic stuff?
He's got like elite armor. That's why everyone wants the armor. It's just
that's why that guy lured him into that trap, because that Beskar that he got is like so valuable and so, potent at protecting him.
And just Mandalorian armor, like he has to like top of the line, but Mandalorian armor in general, which is why I forget like the little, I forget their names, you know what I'm talking about, didn't want to give the sheriff the Mandalorian armor, even for the crystals, because it's just in general so valuable because it's effective armor. Top of the line. You can't probably find better armor than Mandalorian armor.
Yeah, I mean, the sheriff took one to the chest and was Marshal. Nah, Lil John, yeah.
Marshal.
But also, what I do what I do like they snuck in here is the terrible Boba Fett jetpack. Like I do like that. He just bumped up against it and it went like
so good.
Yeah.
Lots of callbacks, which is Star Wars is great for.
Yeah, Jawas.
Jawas, thank you.
About it. Y'all keep talking about it. So tell me who Boba Fett is.
Well, we finna get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
We were at the end of the episode.
So not everyone in Mandalorian armor has BDE like Pedro Pascal. So we'll
So anyway, they defeat the Crate Dragon, and the Crate Dragon, they end up getting the pearl. Mando takes a huge chunk of dragon like rib meat or whatever.
Valuable.
A nice tenderloin. Yeah.
And they got like a pearl that they were mining because they ate some people. It ate some people they were mining, so that was great. That was a cute moment.
Yeah. The pearl is something you get again in the Crate Dragon mission in Knights of the Old Republic.
Yep. I got that call back too.
So they Marshal stays true to his word, gives Mando the beat up armor. He packs it up. Him and Baby Yoda ride off into the sunset, and off in the distance you see a scarred gentleman played by Temuera Morrison. You might know him as the gentleman played Jango Fett in episode 1. However, Jango Fett had a son named Boba Fett. Boba Fett was not Jango's son through traditional methods like copulation. He was his clone, as all of the clone troopers in the prequel series were clones of Jango Fett. So, if this is Temuera Morrison, this is either A clone that survived long after the Clone Wars, which I highly doubt, or B, the gentleman whose armor was being worn by the Marshal, Mr. Oliphant, Boba Fett. Which means we're probably going to get some Boba Fett.
Let's go! It's gonna be so good.
That would be my
somebody said that Star Wars fan Wap tagged me in this earlier, said Star Wars fans love standing over Boba Fett. We ain't never seen this nigga fight once. And that is
yes.
Because we wanted to see him fight. We wanted to see him fight.
He just be showing up with his gun, just
like
we never got to see him fight. That's the point.
He ain't shot nobody. He ain't punched
because
nobody.
I'm telling you, it's only because the armor was cool. No dialogue. The armor's cool. Like that's all.
He's the definition of a dude who people think tough because he around a bunch of tough people. Like he ain't did nothing to earn that reputation.
I have a feeling we're gonna finally get some of that in this season. I saw that and I was like, let's go.
You see him as a kid fighting in Clone Wars, and he's actually pretty effective.
Like his reputation precedes him.
Yeah. He almost kills Mace Windu in the Clone Wars series.
Very close, which is not easy to do.
The dude Samuel Jackson played.
Samuel Jackson.
Purple lightsaber. But, and he had a purple lightsaber because he wanted a purple lightsaber.
Yeah, and not for nothing, Samuel, like Mace Windu was probably like outside of Anakin and Yoda was like the most powerful Jedi. Like he was up there in terms of like his just pure power. So
story with that, Samuel Jackson was like, if I'm gonna be in a Star Wars movie, I want my own color lightsaber. And so George Lucas was like, okay, and then he was like, yeah, we got the purple lightsaber. So basically what they've added to the Star Wars lore is that the purple lightsaber is designated for someone who's basically war ready. So yeah, when it comes to fighting, like Mace Windu is like one of the best with the lightsaber in his hands. That's why he has that purple. And when you see that purple lightsaber, then you know that
it's
right. Yeah. And the reason it's war ready is because purple is a combination of blue and red. Blue is known as the lightsaber color of Jedi Guardians who excel in combat, and red is the dark side. So it's someone who is very aggressive and has embraced the aggressive tactics of the dark side without succumbing to it. So when you see someone with a purple lightsaber, they are like very much like with the shits. And Mace Windu showed
the other one. Tell me about the dark one then that y'all are so excited about.
I feel like we should save that.
Yeah, we gotta wait.
We're gonna save it.
We gotta wait to get to an episode for that. Like we're
gonna get. I feel like they're gonna kind of showcase it more in the show, and we should kind of save that little bit for them.
And we're probably gonna get a white lightsaber in this too if Ahsoka is here with her lightsabers from Rebels. So
let's go.
We'll get a chance to talk about Great Jedi, all that stuff.
Again, everyone should watch Clone Wars.
Please watch. I'll even do a fucking rewatch if y'all want.
I still have.
I'll do a rewatch if AJ does a rewatch.
I will even embark on a rewatch and rewatch the damn Clone Wars because you should watch it. Nelson says Django was weak. Django was like Django did get hold. We ain't really see him do that, but he did spawn all the clones, so we can't hate on him too much.
He's got something with his DNA.
Boba's a perpetual loser. That is
it's on Disney now. Clone Wars. Go ahead.
Boba is definitely a perpetual, and the 7th season was fire. Outside of that, the 4 episode with them sisters, that shit was trash. But the Bad Batch and the Siege of Mandalore, that shit was hard. And they're doing a Bad Batch spinoff, which I can't wait to see.
Bad Batch.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah, they some clone troopers that was deformed that just showed up to fuck shit up. Jonathan says, knowing how the
I'd
scenes
be a
are
member of a Bad Batch
with big screens rather than green screen makes me appreciate the show so much more. Yeah, yeah, I think I agree with that.
It makes it the biggest difference.
Master of style and the Darksaber is well traveled at this point. That is true. Like it's been mad motherfuckers with their hands on the Darksaber. Like Darth Maul.
Anyone you see with the Darksaber, you're just like, oh shit. Anyone that it's like no light person is going to be holding the Darksaber. Is all I'm going to say.
We'll do a quick overview of the Darksaber. So the Darksaber was created by the only Mandalorian to ever join the Jedi Council, and when he died, it was buried with him. But I think the story is the Mandalorians broke in and took it. And so whoever is the master of Clan Vizsla, which is one of the most powerful and storied Mandalorian clans, wields the Darksaber. So it's been wielded by Pre Vizsla, who was the leader of Death Watch, who was trying to overthrow the Queen of Mandalore, who used to date Obi-Wan back in the day. But Obi-Wan chose his Jedi path over her. This is all in Clone Wars, people.
I think he violated that order. I would have.
No. Obi-Wan definitely clapped. Like
I would have violated. I would have helped him violate the order too.
Obi-Wan definitely, but he was like, nah, I got a destiny and all this. I got to stay true.
I would agree. It's just like.
It was wielded by Darth Maul. It was then
Darth Maul deserves better, but he gets better.
Yes, he does.
He gets better.
He didn't have it. He didn't have it in season 7, did he? I think it was. Oh no! Palpatine took it. Didn't
Palpatine,
yeah. Palpatine takes it in season 6, and then it shows up in the hands of Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
Who was played by Giancarlo Esposito, which is why it's rumored that Ahsoka and Sabine Wren may be coming back for this, because Sabine Wren wields it in Rebels before she hands it off to someone else, because she goes back with the Rebels rather than becoming the leader of Mandalore. So it's well traveled and gets.
So once again, watch Clone Wars.
Yes, watch Clone Wars.
And if you watch Clone Wars, and because I feel like this is small, if you're a person that watched Clone Wars but hasn't watched Mandalorian, like there's a small amount of people. At this point, if you were a Clone Wars fan, like you're gonna love this because the amount of references and things that's included in this, and I feel like that's gonna continue to be included. We finally get it in live action. So.
And like Dave Filoni is heavily involved with helping craft this, and Dave Filoni wrote both Clone Wars and Rebels, so he's like helped steward a lot of the Star Wars lore that has made such an impact in this series. So
also not for nothing, George Lucas, the man himself, told Dave Filoni that the only parts of the EU that are canon are the animated show. Basically anything Dave Filoni touches is the only part of the EU that's considered canon according to George Lucas. So so much as they're saying, I need to watch the Clone Wars too, and I'm embarrassed that I.
Wait, you haven't?
How far did you get on it?
I'm still in season 1.
Like I told Ronnie to rewatch it. He ain't started Digimon, which just got better, by the way. Digimon got more fire. Like on this episode, he ain't watched Digimon like I told him to. He ain't watched the Clone Wars. Like I don't know. Like
I have a question. What is the relationship between the Jedi and the Mandalorian?
They're kind of like, so Mandalorians are typically like they're known as like just warriors, even going back to the old Republic days. Like they really
are like samurai.
I wouldn't even call them samurai. They kind of like outlaws. Like
they're cowboys.
I'd give them more like cowboy. Like they're a clan that decides things through like combat, basically. Like all their traditions
Avengers
are based on combat. Like they wear this armor and they like will fight you to the last person. Like man, woman, child are all trained.
Oh, so like Scottish clans essentially.
Seriously, that might be it. So Mandalorians and Jedi have typically had like this uneasy peace. Jedi typically don't go fucking with the Mandalorians, and Mandalorians typically don't go fucking with the Jedi.
They like exist independently.
It's one of those things that's like, all right, we see y'all over there, but we ain't gonna come fuck with y'all as long as y'all don't come fuck with nothing we do.
It's a mutual understanding.
So they're not at war, but they're trying very hard.
It's like the phrase mutually assured destruction. Like if they know that fighting one another would lead to mutually assured destruction, like they know, okay, if we go to war, the Jedi know if they go to war with the Mandalorians, the Jedi Order is probably going to be wiped out, or at the very least supremely thinned out. And the Mandalorians know if they go to war with the Jedi, that their people are probably going to end up getting wiped out. So
like, I'll mind my business if you mind yours, kind of a deal.
They stay at, like, Mandalore was neutral essentially in the Clone Wars. They didn't really get involved in that. They was just kind of doing their own thing. That is until like Darth Maul showed up. So there's people who vied to like play the Mandalorians because they are warriors, and if you can get them on your side, then you typically will turn the tide in whatever fight you're in because they're so good at fighting. Like the reason the clone army is based off of a quote unquote Mandalorian is because of their fighting prowess. So they went and found somebody that had the traits that you would need in a warrior and developed a clone army off of one of those people. So they're just known for,
they're really effective killers, just like Marshal said. They're known for killing.
All of the bad people, are they all just separate big bads like Palpatine and Darth Maul and Vader and so on and so on and so on and so forth? Are they all just separate big bads, or are they all some kind of?
So Palpatine is the biggest bad.
She's like the big boss.
Yeah, so give kind of a history lesson. So like the Jedi and Sith started out as a race, and then they kind of developed this religion where it's not race based. So like there was a race of Sith and a race of Jedi. They both used the Force, one light side, one dark side. The Jedi followed the teachings of the Jedi people, and the Sith followed the teaching of the Sith people. So the problem with the Siths were they were so power hungry that they were always killing each other. Like it's just a constant cycle. So they developed the rule of two: one to be in power, one to covet the power. And so Palpatine is like the Sith Lord during most of the time of the Star Wars that we know. And he always has an apprentice. The problem is his apprentices always have apprentices. So he is the one that's in power, and he keeps someone with him that covets his power because he knows, like similar to the way that he killed his master, he knows that one day his pupil is going to try to kill him. Yes, as Cam said, the rule of two. So there's only, even though there's multiple people in the dark side that follow the Sith, there's only ever really two Sith Lords at a time. So Darth Maul was the first apprentice of Palpatine that we know of. Then it was Count Dooku. Then it ended up being Vader. So those. But
Palpatine was an infiltrator, yes.
Yes and no. He grew up on Naboo. He at some point fell under the sway of Darth Plagueis, and he started a career in the. Basically, he looked through the Force to find out how to create the Empire. So he knew that he instigated the beef in Episode 1, which led Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan to Anakin, because he knew that Anakin was going to be the key to all this. And then he helped overthrow the Chancellor in order to become the new Chancellor. And then he had Count Dooku start the war and create the clone.
It was like he kind of held a coup.
He helped create
I should have said coup instead of infiltrate, but I mean he had to infiltrate to start the coup, though, right?
Right. He infiltrated the Senate and the government, and kind of from afar, he was playing both sides. He knew he built up the Republic army, because the Republic never had an army outside of the Jedi before the Confederation. So he needed a war to create the army to destroy the Jedi to secure the Republic and turn it into the Empire. So he basically just kind of played chess the entire time and played Yoda, played Qui-Gon, played everybody,
which are not easy to play. I mean, the prequels didn't handle it well. Well, I mean, they're not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be.
The only person who wasn't easy to play, because Qui-Gon probably would have seen all of Qui-Gon dying. Anakin doesn't go to the dark side, trained properly, because Anakin needed a father. Obi-Wan was his brother. Like, there's just a whole bunch of shit that happens with Qui-Gon dying. But like even Dooku says in Episode 2, Qui-Gon would have been on my side, and he's partially right. Like Qui-Gon probably would have found out that Palpatine was the Emperor well before everybody else. Anakin probably never told. Like, there's probably a bunch of shit. So Qui-Gon ain't easy to play, but Yoda is too.
Yoda was so dumb in every decision Yoda made in the prequel trilogy was.
That's what I meant by he wasn't supposed to be, because in the originals he was much more wise.
Like, he can't see the force for the trees. Like, he's so powerful and can see so much through the force that he doesn't realize the person that's playing him is on his side. He's thinking there's this person out in the galaxy in the shadows manipulating all this, and it's the person who's in the meetings talking strategy with them the entire time, because then he can run back and say, hey, Dooku, they're doing XYZ.
So to put this succinctly, I'm going to say this very quick. Think of the rise of the Empire, because it's basically an allegory for like the rise of like the Nazi Party. So think of it in that manner.
Okay.
Or what the Republicans are doing right now.
Oh, exactly.
There's a lot of allusions to like, and I think it was kind of like this way a little bit before too. Like, with how, if you look at the Empire, they're pretty much Republicans.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on right now. So, and that's not by accident. It's not an accident at all. It's not, but it's still really well done. But still, people don't see that for what it is. So
what made Palpatine turn from himself looking like a human to this dark cloaked?
He shot lightning and Mace Windu's lightsaber, and Mace directed it back at him. Which again, he's probably one of the only.
I just don't remember, so I'm glad y'all here to remind me, because
it's so like you can block force lightning if you're strong enough with the force.
There they go.
What?
They right there. Look up. I have them. I just.
Oh. If you're strong enough with the force, you can deflect force lightning, which Yoda does multiple times. He does in episode 2 and 3. Or like Mace Windu, because he knows the dark side well enough, because he's embraced it, he could deflect it back with his lightsaber. Like, Yoda could like absorb it and redirect it. Mace could like bounce it back at you because he knows.
Except for the time when they threw my man out the window. Then
yeah. I think he was aside from Darth Maul, I think he was my favorite character from the prequels.
Yeah.
And I was so sad to see him go. I was like, damn.
Palpatine is the Phantom Menace, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then Darth Maul is his
apprentice. It was written like Darth Maul was the Phantom Menace, but like when you watch the movie, when it ends, they show Palpatine with his nose sticking out of the hood, and Yoda says, "I feel like we're being played by somebody," and that was meant to be an illusion of, "Hey, this is the Emperor," because they didn't know like how far the movie was going to go with the movies were going to go at that point.
Got it. So
it was done very poorly. It was done very poorly, so that's why it can get confusing. Like let that be known.
But to answer the original question, the bads though are still separate bads. Sometimes it's not like there's one group of like apprentices that keep coming. These are all separate.
They're all being controlled by the same person, except for in Clone Wars when Darth Maul like goes rogue. And like,
so it's still a common goal of this line of bads.
Think of it like a family tree type chart where it's like there's still different branches, but it still has like the same source. Like that's kind of like the Sith.
Yeah,
is that Palpatine or somebody above him?
Yeah, pretty much Palpatine.
No, I mean, there was a theory.
You can have like Plagueis and like the one link, and then to Palpatine, but that's it. Like after Palpatine, it branches.
Like there was a theory for a while that and I still buy this theory that Jar Jar was supposed to be the big bad.
Darth Jar Jar.
It should have been. That would have been so good. But like what they did in 7, 8, and 8, 9, it's just like I don't know. It was the worst thing that ever happened.
And so Juan Carlo, what's his name in the show?
Who let Palpatine clap their cheeks? I want to know. I'm sorry, I can't get over that. Who reproduced the Palpatine?
Palpatine was really
no. His son was a clone of him.
Okay.
What's his name in the show?
Moff Gideon.
Okay,
Moff is a rank, so Gideon's his last name.
Yeah. No. I was talking about Palpatine.
No, Kev. Nobody let Palpatine beat. That Palpatine we saw in episode 9 was a clone, and they confirmed in the novelization of something.
Thank God. And that's what I was hoping, because remember we all first saw the movie.
They did the thing the Russo's brothers did when they started answering questions outside of the movie as opposed to answering them within the movie.
So they,
go ahead.
When you see the movie, you're like, who? That was my first thought. I was like,
who is letting Palpatine get the draws up here?
The sister was starving. But so you said Gideon?
Yeah, Gideon. Yeah,
is in line of these. I mean, does he link to Palpatine in a way, or is he just his own?
He's a former Imperial officer. We don't really know his motives yet.
He is a villain, though.
Yes. Yeah. Moff. So Moff is like a rank within the. I don't know what the fuck it means, but it's like general or some shit. But Moff is a rank within the Imperial military. So him being a Moff is a sign.
Very important question.
I mean, I'm gonna assume that Palpatine had some hoes around the Republic. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Like paid hoes probably, but
somebody told me a long time ago, a dick is a dick in the dark. So if they didn't get to see him, then there you go. I was told this. That's what I heard.
That's like when them creep niggas say it's all pink on the inside. Like
that's what it is, the reverse of that. Yeah.
Palpatine is out here like Zordon though. Like he's just a white shadowy figure, like in a large like cloak. Like
I mean, but
it's in the hips. If does Palpatine's hips do his hips still work? I'm sure. If he can move his hips, then that's all that matters.
Hypothetically, you can use the Force, a different kind of, not like the Force, not another Force.
You don't even have to see his face.
I'm gonna assume that. Hey, listen, if Ice JJ Fish could get some hoes off of being famous, I'm gonna assume it was some.
I mean, maybe there's some Sith women. There's some Sith women who.
I'm not even gonna say Sith women. It was probably some Imperial citizens that was willing to give up the draw. He the most powerful man in the universe.
Bloodline pure.
But no, his son reproduced.
Can we do that a poll?
Clone reproduced, but
his clone reproduced.
Yeah,
but his clone looks like him, right?
Well, no, his and they don't clone it and it become like a direct replica. Like your clone is just it's a DNA that now they can artificially accelerate the age of a clone. But like that's why like Boba Fett was an unaltered clone. Like that was Jango's payment for giving his DNA to create the clone army, was he wanted an unaltered clone that aged normally.
So this clone could have looked like Trevante. That's what you're saying, or Juan Carlo.
No, they show his son. Like his son looked like a younger version of him, basically.
Yeah,
but he still would have looked like him though, just the younger version. Okay.
Yeah, but we never saw Palpatine when he was young. We don't know what Palpatine looked like when he was younger.
I feel like y'all age shaming. I mean, the mature Palpatine.
No, like look, we're not. There are so many other things to shame.
Listen, Palpatine
looked like a thumb that's been in water for too long.
Maybe he had some gab. Maybe he had some swag.
Did you hear him? No. Come on. How's he spitting game when he said, no, the entire Republic shall fall?
I'm just saying, y'all, there are things.
Like, what it do, little baby? Like, what are we talking about here?
Some woman might like that. He may have been like,
No, there's some women. There were undoubtedly some men or some women or men that like power and were.
There you go.
Turn the Force lightning down to like level 1 or 2.
Successful people get all the yams. Y'all know this. And this man was,
he's got money.
Yeah. He was the most powerful person in the galaxy for many years.
His milkshake might bring all the boys to the yard.
And we thought Court was going to be a problem.
It was a Trojan horse. It was a Trojan horse all along.
Or was it a Trojan? Did they need?
Dee and I had the same reaction to Trojan.
Maybe they didn't have a Trojan. That's how you got it. That's what happened. They should have had.
Yeah, they didn't have a Trojan.
It is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, y'all are being ageist. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All I know is when they said
I direct you to my tweet where I directly quote replied Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm not blocked of young versus old.
You know what I'm saying? Heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever. However, Biggie told y'all. He told y'all. You shouldn't be surprised. That's all I'm saying.
Palpatine wasn't Coogee down to the socks.
Maybe he was. Rings and watch filled with rocks.
All I know is when I found out that Palpatine's son was a clone, I was like, oh, that's confirmation Rey was supposed to be a Kenobi.
She was.
That's all I wanted for years. Is it because
Rich, the most likely candidate for Rey's parents. Well, never mind. She died in Clone Wars, so that wouldn't have been.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, but what if that was?
Look. Daisy really said the first script they gave her, she was a Kenobi, but then she said while they were filming, JJ came to her and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're a Palpatine," and she was just like, "Huh."
Yeah,
like and her. Y'all are saying a Kenobi versus a Palpatine. We're talking about lineage, right? Like,
yeah,
family.
Yeah,
okay.
The rumor was that because so we've told y'all what happened in the episode. We're just gonna go Star Wars lore at this point. J.J. Abrams said the hint about her identity is in her solitude, and at the very beginning of it. Between episodes 3 and 4.
Cameron, I'm sorry. I'm just imagining that while he climaxes. Imagine he's like while he's climaxing. I'm
really. Mute Courtney's mic. Mute Courtney's mic. Like we can't have this.
Could you imagine unlimited power? That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying. Thanks, Cam.
Always opens these doors. It's not me. I'm not the one.
Right. I was gonna say Cam said it. We're
gonna pretend this didn't happen. So I don't even where the fuck was I? What was I talking about?
Rey?
Oh, so J.J. Abrams said the hint about her identity is in her solitude, and the most solitary character that we've known throughout the Star Wars mythos is Obi-Wan in between episodes 3.
Old man Ben Kenobi.
All the company in his solitude.
Yeah, like he was. So I initially thought, oh, this opens the door for Rey to be a Mandalorian, which means she might get the Darksaber because Obi-Wan's most prominent love interest was
that would have been the best outcome.
The Queen of Mandalore.
That he had a whole affair with her. He had a hit.
So she dies. The Darksaber is not inherently evil.
No. It's just a black kyber crystal that creates that color. That's all that is.
Are the red ones inherently evil? Are any of them inherently evil?
So they say that the rage of Sith. Well, okay, so your crystal is kind of. There's two schools of thought. There are some colored crystals, and then there are some that just are that your personality and who you are influences the color of your crystal. I don't know which one's canon anymore because so much shit is changed.
Especially with like the movies, like I always felt like if you were a longtime user of a saber, that it kind of like part of your energy or your being kind of is within it too. So I was like possibly, yeah, but if you're on the light that you can't use it.
Yeah, like
you might get influenced. You might get influenced, but
yeah, like before Disney, the Sith colors were red. You would see purple. You would see orange, and I think that's about it.
Yep, that's it. Just like warmer colors.
On the Jedi side, you would see blue, green, yellow.
Cool colors, basically.
Yeah, different shades of all those colors.
So basically, like very stereotypical. This color is good. This color means bad.
That type shit. But yeah, I thought Rey was going to be a Kenobi because the British accent. Why else does Obi-Wan talk to her when she touches Anakin's lightsaber and not Anakin himself?
This story could have been great. This story, but they wanted shock value, and it wasn't even shock value. It was just like, ugh.
Well,
and then everyone's first thought was who allowed that, even if it's a clone. Like that was the first thing every single person thought. And if you say it wasn't, you're lying.
It's Kathleen Kennedy's fault for not having the same person direct all 3 films. Like that was just fucking
no
stupid.
one. Okay, we should say this. Like there should be no trilogy where it's directed by different people.
Yeah, or at the very least, have somebody who knows, like have a Kevin Feige around to be like, all right, we're gonna do this. You're executing the vision.
It's like you're just giving a different tone. Like if the director is there to give a different tone, possibly, but like the vision should remain the same.
And also, Colin Trevorrow's proposed film is like a million times better. Than what
there was going to be like so. Kylo was going to fight the Force ghost of Vader in the 3rd movie.
His own grandfather, which would have been
like once I saw that that concept art, I was like,
Isn't there a concept
and then they
like
had Rey end up with someone who is emotionally abusive to her for the whole trilogy? Well, you're trying to have this whole girl power thing going on, which I loved having the female lead. I loved that. But then they kind of made her like what's the term that's always used? It's never really applicable, but with Rey, it just kind of was that. But they made her end up with her essentially an abuser, and I'm just like, this is not very girl power of you.
And like, there's also a rumor that Finn was originally the lead, and then they turned around and
have an interracial couple.
Well, no, when they had the backlash of the Black Stormtrooper, they were like, "Oh shit, we can't make him a Jedi." So that was when they turned around, and
that's also, probably why.
This whole thing goes completely differently if they just listen to fucking Mark Hamill when he says, "Hey, when the saber's flying through the snow on Starkiller Base, have Luke catch it." Whole thing goes differently. Whole trilogy is off on a completely different start. If Luke shows up and is like, boom.
And this is why it's better in a TV. One of the many reasons why it's better in TV show format than it is in movies. And because movies are left up to egos. Yeah, exactly. Mary Sue. That's what I couldn't. Yeah. And people say that, like they throw it around, but with Rey, and again, and this is a Disney thing because they did it with a lot of their Marvel movies. Like they can't ever like when women are strong, it's a very Mary Sue situation. Like there's no, she's just power to be powerful, and she's so OP, and it doesn't help the situation when you're gonna have pushback on having a female lead. Like she's just strong. It's just not valid. If it wouldn't be the same way if it was a male character. That's what gets so frustrating. Like they have this female empowerment, but it's empty.
Well, white male character. Because again,
white male character, absolutely. Like John Boyega deserved better, and he signed on for better, and we're all happy for him.
Yep. Like I think in Colin Trevorrow's script, there's like a scene of him like vividly using the Force. Like there's concept art of that. Like, and then they did the stupid shit of having Lando's daughter be there, but not saying that was Lando's
not saying anything. Like you have one black woman there, and she's
we hinted at it. Like what? No.
No, you didn't. No. And it would have been really cool if they implemented that, but like way earlier.
Somebody who is out in the galaxy getting cheeks, Lando. Okay, but still, you didn't hit at it. You didn't make it.
And there was also a rumor that because in the Marvel comics, Han Solo had a black wife at one point in time, that they were going to say that Finn was descended from that. They were going to play at that him being a descendant of the Solos, but not the Force sensitive side of the Solos. Rey had zero character development and didn't earn anything. Her Force powers were due. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the Palpatine.
Her character. We're gonna have to say this for another episode because
we need to have a whole. We need to have like a whole.
This is another episode, but her character development was killed. But yeah, so yeah, let's put a
tweet us. Yeah, have a poll. We'll have a poll. Do you want us to do just like a takedown of like the whole like Star Wars as a universe or the lore? We can do that because we all have feelings, as you can tell.
If you have questions, y'all should do a Star Wars mailbag.
We should do a Star Wars mailbag.
Or Clone Wars mailbag.
Well, I gotta watch some Clone Wars.
Watch Clone Wars, especially if you're watching Mandalorian.
Especially Ronnie.
Do a Mandalorian mailbag. Maybe you can do it at the end of the season, but do a Mandalorian mailbag and just have people just send you Star Wars questions, Mandalorian questions, Clone Wars questions, whatever, and then answer them.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Watch Clone Wars.
Watch Clone Wars, especially if you're watching Mandalorian.
I'm tired of saying this. Watch Clone Wars.
I'm threatening you. I'm going to come to your house. Yeah.
Court's going to get the PVC pipe out if y'all don't watch.
The PVC pipe and it has like a saber just pop out.
I'll even go on my Twitch and like pop it up on the screen and have commentary on it if that's what y'all want to do.
Yeah, if y'all want that.
Speaking of threatening, Courtney, how do they subscribe to our YouTube channel?
So it's so easy, okay? You could just type The Kids Wear Crowns and you find the YouTube channel. It's so easy. It's crazy how easy it is. And you click the channel and then there's this button and it says subscribe. If you hit that button, then you get to actually in your feed have our video show up. It's crazy. And also if you hit the notification bell, if you hit the notification bell, you get notifications when we drop videos. So if you haven't already, I will find you through your IP address and show up to your front door. I don't care if it's a pandemic. I'll wear a mask, but I'll have a pimple up that's also holding a gun. Okay, like you don't. You
and follow us on Twitch.
And follow us on Twitch and Twitter and Facebook.
Because when we get to
Jonathan, I've been threatening you for months. Jonathan, I told you I would go to Canadian prison. I've been threatening him for months. So
when we get to 50 Twitch followers, we'll give away
a hoodie.
A hoodie.
I wish there was a C on this because then the KW would. Wait, what am I doing here?
A KWC, yeah.
Yeah, KW. We could underline. But anyways, I this whole reverse thing be fucking me up.
Yeah.
Except when I have a pick in my hair, then I can go to it every time. But yeah, follow us on Twitch.
Mm-hmm. On everything. I'm not playing anymore. I'm tired of playing with you. I know you're not following.
Give us okay, so here's the thing. We enjoy positive feedback, but we grow from negative or just critical or whatever else you need to do. So if you have something that you think we can improve on, we want to know.
Unless it's me thirsting over male characters, I'm sorry. I'm not going to stop.
It's not going to stop.
Oh, sorry. Valid criticism is realistic.
None of your criticism means anything to me.
Yeah. You got that too, but give it to us, and maybe
my
we'll
mom's
implement it.
And that I cuss too much, Mom, I'm going to keep cussing.
Those three, they don't mind it.
There you go.
I do.
It
but we do want to know how we can be better, and I mean that doesn't mean we're going to do it. I'm just saying,
Yeah, like you can say, "Hey, I don't like it when you talk about Giancarlo Esposito." Then I'm going to tell you to fuck off.
Yeah, we're gonna do that anyway.
I don't want to know how I can be any better. This awesomeness is already hard enough to be.
Don't tell. Well, they don't tell you anyway because they want you to know. But we're past the hour. We want to try to keep these at a decent time.
Sorry, we went off, but we'll have a mailbag.
It's episode 1. It's always going to go longer.
One thing I want to mention. I do appreciate, despite the Baby Yoda hype, that they didn't feed into that and that they kept it at a minimum.
Oh yeah, they did. So we'll be back next week.
I think that concludes our recap. I'm probably gonna name this episode the Palpatine Hammer, but yeah, I think that concludes our recap.
All caps. Okay.
In order to make this effective, we have to get Ransom to tweet it.
The Palpatine Hammer.
I'm joking. I am getting force choked over here.
But yeah, so if you join us again next Sunday, same time, same channel. Goodbye.